What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the farm. So recently we did new vinyl siding on the little tool shed over here. So we put a new door in, we put a new window in, and the next step of this little project is we are going to make some new shutters for the window. There's one here on the front, there's another one here on the back. So we're going to do a quick little cheap, inexpensive DIY set of shutters for our little tool shed remodel. So just to point this out real quick before we head back to the shop, we used pressure-treated 2x6s on the corners here. The vinyl corner pieces just did not quite match up a way that we liked the way that they looked. So that's what we did there. So just pointing out that little design feature. So it makes sense here when we go back to the shop what I explained to you next. And here on the outhouse, the old outhouse, you can see this is the old asphalt style siding that was on it that looked like brick. It just was old and was starting to come apart. So now we got this good looking vinyl. So for the material to make our shutters, we are using these 8-foot long pressure treated pine fence pickets. Now the reason I showed you the corner pieces on the shed, those are pressure treated pine, so that's why we're using the pressure treated pine pickets, so they're going to end up matching. All of that green, you can see all that oxidation, that goes away in sun and weather, so not so much worried about the look of that. Once that weather's away, that copper that's impregnated into this, it will match perfect with what's going on up there already. So right now at Menards, let's see if we can see this, it is $4.79 for an 8-foot long pressure treated picket. So we needed 4 of them to make a set of 2 shutters. So if we're under 20 bucks in materials, we're going to be able to make that whole set of shutters. I have gathered my cut list. So we are going to take the pickets next door over to the saws, and we are going to get these all cut on the miter saw down to 6 pieces at 37 inches and 4 of them at 16 and a half. Here's a close approximation of what we're going to end up looking like. That was a 60 grit sandpaper. We used it just to knock off all of the loose stuff off of the flat faces, but we wanted to make sure we really got these edges a little bit smoother so our glue joints hold tighter. Make sure we get good adhesion, good contact between those two surfaces. Alright guys, now this next step, you could 100% skip over this next step and you would be just fine. I own a Kreg jig, so I'm going to use my Kreg jig to joint these boards together on these edges. Now, you could just butt these together, go ahead and wood glue them, clamp them. You probably could even skip clamping them, and you could just mount your horizontal pieces, screw them in from the back, glue all that together, and you'd be good to go. But I own this Kreg jig, so I'm going to go ahead and use it to make sure that those joints are super sturdy and we suck all those edges together nice and tight. So the big thing with the pocket screws that are going to be super helpful with this is the pocket screws are going to act as my clamps for the wood glue. So this is just a little bit of Gorilla. Make sure it's exterior, it's an indoor-outdoor. So we're just going to apply our wood glue, and then, like I said, our pocket screws are what is going to act as our clamps while our glue dries. Little tip for you, I get these little flux brushes. I don't remember who I saw this online. It might have been Woodshop Companion, I think. I get these little flux brushes for from Harbor Freight. 36 of them are $3, and they make perfect little glue brushes, and then they're so cheap they can be throwaways. I just trim a little bit off the end to stiffen the bristles up a little bit, and they work out great. Now, I am not expecting perfect joints with this. I don't expect everything to be even. I don't expect tight joints everywhere. I would not have used a fence picket if that's what I was going for. We are going for a more rustic look. So I don't have any problem with a little bit of gap or anything like that. So I'm just going to kind of brush this around, get it spread even. And then we will use our screws to get this sealed up all tight. This is about as thin as you can go with pocket screws. 1/2-inch material is the smallest, at least with the one that I own, the little hand Kreg tool. 1/2 inch is as tight or as thin a material as you can go. And this is just over 1/2 inch. It calls itself 5/8, but it didn't quite get there. So, got our glue. Got all of our pocket screws put in, all these long joints glued together. So now all I've done is I've made a little mark on either side. I'm 4 inches up. That's where I want my strap. I don't know, I guess that's what we'll call it. Where I want my strap board to go across. 4 inches marked on either side. I'm going to glue a bunch of glue onto this and then shoot it in with some brad nails, flip the board over, and then we'll shoot it in with some screws from the back. For the to permanently affix it, the brads are just going to be to hold it in place so I can see it from this side and then flip her over. All right, so the last thing we have to do before we go ahead and do the install on these is we've got to go ahead and get some sealer put on it. So I am going to use this all-in-one stain and sealer toner for decks, fences, and siding. So this is actually just like a half of a can that we have left from a deck that we did. So I am just going to go ahead and use that. With the pressure-treated wood, we're not so much worried about the rot and everything, but we want to try to prevent this will help prevent the warping, and it will help prevent the fading over time and the graying of the wood that the elements will cause. So grab a brush, Brisket. Let these dry, and then we'll get them put up probably tomorrow once the sun comes back out. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that quick and easy little build on these shutters. I think that just goes to show you it doesn't always take something expensive. We used something super cheap, these pine fence pickets, to make something that ended up looking pretty good out here on our tool shed. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, think about hitting that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And until next time, y'all, We will see you.